Hunter, if you're awake, come to Central. I need to show you something.
Agatha always radiated ethereal luminescence. Now that is her existence again.
Seeing Agatha again gave me the warm and fuzzies, even though I could sorta see through her.
There's a weird feeling around the Abbey today.
Something of concern? I can check to see if any curses have been invoked.
No, it's not a bad feeling. Did you catch Sarah out? She was actually smiling, making small. Got more coil for me? And to the right. Sometimes, I even impress myself. I'm pretty sure
Always a pleasure.
I spent some time decrypting the data drive Crossbones gave to Cap.
I hope it gave us good information on Hydra.
He gave us good intelligence, all right, but it's not about Hydra. It's about us. Take a look. He had files on all of us. Cap, me, Stark, Blade, Magic, Nico, everyone. Strengths, weaknesses. Mostly weaknesses.
We can use this information to fix our deficiencies. Whatever he viewed as a weakness, we can make into a strength.
I like the way you think. Now I just need to convince Cap that distributing these files to the team is a good idea. This isn't even all of it. There's a whole other section, but I can't access it.
More encryption.
Multiple layers of it. I could probably get it, but it'll take me a while. Cap could make this go a lot quicker.
Where is he? I am surprised he is not going over these files with you.
He was with me when we first unlocked the drive. He was already agitated from Crossbones' death, but I think seeing what he had on us really set him off. He excused himself in a hurry. Now I need him back.
I will find him and convince him to come back. You do not have to worry about that.
I have no doubt you can be most persuasive when you want to be, Hunter.
Was there anything about me on that drive?
Strangely, no. Not a word.
Odd.
I'll keep trying to break this code while you find Cap.
Steve, Carol needs your help decrypting Crossbones' files.
It figures she'd send you. Did she tell you I want nothing to do with it? Because I still don't.
Tell me why this is a problem.
It was something Crossbones said. The old man. He was talking about my greatest enemy.
Who?
The Red Skull commanded Hydra during the war. Obsessed with the occult.
You think the Red Skull has something to do with those files?
I'm certain. One file is called Project Gutmorder, a classic name for a Red Skull terror weapon. Rumlow wanted me to use the tools of my oldest enemy to defeat the newest. I won't give him the satisfaction.
You are looking at this the wrong way.
How do you think I should see it?
Crossbones made a point of drawing you to him. Then he found a way to get close to you. In the end, he turned on Lilith. He gave those files to the only person he could trust to put them to good use.
That's an interesting theory, but I won't give Rumlow the benefit of the doubt.
That is not your call to make. You helped put me in charge. Now trust me to do my job.
Well, I guess you have been paying attention. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, huh? I'll talk to Carol and do what I can. Thanks for helping me work through this, Hunter.
Of course.
Let's do this.
Are you ready?
See you around.
Everything by the numbers. What's the latest intel? Here's the latest from Hydra World. This should keep someone busy. If I had time, I'd take care of these myself, but I have been accused of hogging the ball before. Thanks, Hunter.
Vampires hit the Morlocks again.
And Dahlia?
Taken.
So this is the part where we bring her back.
I thought you might take some convincing.
You had us at kill vampires.
Passed the vibe check, because it feels real different.
By the goddess.
Sin's handiwork, no doubt. We should free them before they...
This city has had enough of Sin and her pets. She's long past due a reckoning.
Bad news. More on the way.
That is bad. For them.
Go after the ones holding the keys. Let's get these people out of here.
This is intolerable. Sin has gone too far.
Leave none of her new kin standing.
Nothing to worry about. Never seen that before.
The elements bow beneath.
About time. These fanatics are always the same. I'll put this to good use. You asked for it. This is gonna get messy.
As if the Morlocks have not endured enough scorn in this city.
Sin is proven herself willing to step on anyone.
She'll get what's coming to her.
I will make sure of that.
The advantage is mine. Their time is short. I saw a move like that once.
Whoever trained you did a damn good job.
Precious time.
Here it comes.
Hydra Immortalis. She will never strike.
There's no shortage of minions coming to their aid.
How long has this been going on right under my nose?
We have had no shortage of distractions from my mother. This is not your fault.
But it sure does piss me off.
My power is yours.
Danke.
I will deliver you from her grasp.
As she commands.
You chose this path. Now you must follow it. We must work faster to free these people!
You're the heavy hitter. Throw a hurricane at him.
Can she really do that?
She can.
Walk in the light.
Your timing is perfect.
That's one hell of a move.
It was your mistake in coming here. You'll get yours.
No injury, Silver.
Leave some for the rest of us.
I call to the enemy.
Maybe you should teach me that one.
Accept your defeat.
You should have brought more help. As a child, I feared the servants of Lilith. Now I teach them to fear me.
Face your end.
They cannot possibly match your strength.
end comes for us all eventually.
Hail Hydra! Your end!
They are wearing me down. Can you feel it in the air?
I think you got him.
Are you prepared?
Never seen that before. Who's next? You kissed the mother with that mouth?
They are free. Now, where is Sin? Dahlia!
What the hell have you done, Vamp?
What have I done? A work of true genius. Personal alchemies, artifacts acquired over centuries.
And blood? Siphoned from dozens of innocents?
Hundreds. Mutant, human, a combined broth.
All to fulfill my one purpose. The creation of a vast immortal army that can cross sacred ground, that requires no invitation.
No flaw, no failure, no death. Just perfection.
No stakes. No silver.
No weakness whatsoever.
Except for me.
Enough bravado. My plan was flawless. All I needed was the right filter.
There will be no more running. You will answer for what you've done here and now.
Why would we ever run from you? We stand proud.
She's right, of course. There will be no more running for our kind.
Then this.
I am impressed.
I cannot be deterred.
Is that really the best you can do?
I have your back.
I owe you one.
Brace yourself.
This world has a new apex. You are not my equal. Our time has come. I will waste no more time.
This won't end well for you. The afterlife?
I think they like me. Hydra doesn't know when to quit. I always knew you were a parasite. But picking on kids, you're garbage.
You always have such a way with words, Blade.
That almost sounded like garbage trying to talk.
Enough of your disrespect.
Now who's angry?
Together.
They're gonna remember that.
Welcome assistance.
Their intentions haven't changed. The forces of nature conspire against us.
Our long journey at an end. Now you will see.
When this is over, your blood will serve as the first of many exquisite meals to come. A banquet of the Daywalker, a mutant goddess, and... what are you exactly?
Unpalatable.
I very much doubt that.
You were too weak for this fight. You're stronger already.
trifled with the wrong guys.
That's a neat trick.
Do you not realize who I am?
Don't get up, even if you can. Your job is over. Return to the darkness. Your fate was already sealed. Dahlia's powers are a boon to this world. We will reunite her with the Morlocks.
Talk as if we haven't already gone!
I didn't hear a bell.
Neither did I. They brought this upon themselves.
No!
Master!
In the end, you are all alone.
Then so shall it be with you!
It seems vampires are vulnerable to lightning.
That was half my power. Don't move. You're all right now.
You came back for me.
Of course we did.
What now?
We'll take you home. Wherever you want that to be.
You can sleep in my room tonight, Dahlia.
What? No, I don't want to kick you out of your own space.
Don't worry about it. I can sleep in limbo.
Oh, I'm guessing there's no point in arguing with you.
You're smart. Try to get some rest. You need it.
In a bit. There's something I need to do first.
Hey, boss.
Could you stop by later, Hunter? We should talk.
You showed some amazing moves out there.
Oh, you want to be really impressed? Watch me at trivia night.
How do you feel?
Aside from the obvious, I'm alright. Although I've noticed my abilities don't feel the same. I don't know how to describe it, but it's,
Darker?
yeah. How did you...
I have darkness within me, too. I understand what it is like.
I don't want it to linger, to control me. How do you deal with it?
I do my best not to tap into that part of myself.
Doesn't that mean you're ignoring that it's a part of you?
Not really. I know it is there, and I can feel it tempting me, but I have learned to keep it at bay.
If you can learn to manage, maybe so can I.
I have no doubts about that.
You know, I'm actually surprised that you all came to rescue me. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally glad that you did. It was just unexpected.
What is next for you, Dahlia?
Honestly, I don't know. But for the first time in my life, I get to choose. Everything is up in the air, but, you know, I'm taking it day by day. I'm still cool to talk if you have more questions.
Has your opinion of Storm changed?
I was really unkind to her in the sewer. I spoke out of anger, and I regret it.
The words you spoke held no truth?
Yes. And no. It's complicated. But Storm showed up when it mattered. She cares about me and the Morlocks, and she showed it.
You should tell her this.
I plan on it.
How do you feel about leaving the orphanage?
Conflicted. On one hand, I hated it. Every day was a reminder that I didn't belong. But I was surrounded by kids who felt the same way, and we became a family.
You miss your friends.
I do. Leaving them behind sucked. But once I learned about the Morlocks, I knew I needed to help.
Then you found another new family.
I'm forever grateful they took me in.
What are your thoughts on the Morlocks?
They're my family. They took me in, and we cared for each other. We're all mutants just trying to get by.
They are not wary of you?
They were at first. They thought I was one of the X-Men. But once they saw I wanted to help, we built up trust.
Is being an X-Men bad?
Morlocks are used to being outcasts because of the way they look. There's a misunderstanding between the two groups, you know.
Have you reconsidered Storm's offer?
I was worried about this question. I have no idea.
That is okay. You do not need to know right now.
There's still so much about the X-Men I don't know about, and I can't just leave the Morlocks behind.
I am sure you will figure something out.
Me too.
See you later, Dahlia.
I hope so.
Got a minute? Shop class is supposed to meet tonight.
So, just the two of us?
Actually, when I asked Parker, he mentioned you stopped by. Said he could convince Robbie if I could get you to show.
I'm sure everyone has something to say.
Maybe. But I already said too much. I have to fix this.
We should not keep them waiting.
Time to face the music.
So, what did you want?
A do-over? And to apologize for the last time.
It's a nice sentiment. But a do-over doesn't have much appeal for either of us.
Yeah. I don't understand why we should keep giving you chances.
You shouldn't. Not if you don't want to. But hear me out, okay? I've been the person in charge for years. When I'm stressed, I can steamroll people who never expected it, and certainly don't deserve it.
That's what assholes say. To justify their behavior so they can keep being assholes.
Half of the Avengers agree with you. Look, nothing I did was justified. I was a jerk. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
Look, when you take away all the trappings of ungodly wealth, I'm just a guy who likes to make things. None of my friends were into this stuff. I was the only kid who saw beauty in exhaust manifolds, who spent hours poring over the guts of a microprocessor. That's all I want here, to make things with friends. As long as that's still an option.
That's the whole idea behind this? Okay, here's how we make this work. Tony Stark, CEO, is banned from shop class.
But making things, Tony? The guy we're talking to right now? He can stay.
That's more than fair.
Glad that's over with. Feuding with Tony Stark is not an achievement I care to unlock. So, how about we make something new? So, the Hulk.
You designed a prototype that will defeat him.
No.
Then what about the Hulk?
We don't know if any of this is going to work. But in theory, and I have to stress the theory, we think we can keep you alive for 6 seconds more than Central's models project. Maybe 7.
We should just build it.
That's what I like to hear. I finally have a use for the components you handed me. So, are we good to go on this project?
Just a moment.
No rush.
Well, that was less painful than expected. Thanks for coming, Hunter. We all needed to, clear the air.
Took Tony long enough to figure out shop class, huh? I thought his suit had the thicker skull.
I always believed Tony would do the right thing.
That's where we differ. But I'm glad to be wrong. I'll let you get to it. Parker can't wait to dive in.
I'm ready to put this together. How about you?
I am ready.
Look, I don't want to brag, but I think this is our best work. Yeah, I know, blah blah, teamwork, blah blah blah, but still, it's impressive what we can do when we all work together.
Parker's creative drive is amazing. Seeing how he tackles a problem gives me ideas of my own. And Robbie has the right intuition when it comes to putting these prototypes together. I thought he was being overcautious, but that's a crafter's care. Wish I'd seen it earlier.
I think that was our best work. Everyone did their part. I'm ready to call it a night. How about you?
I am ready to go.
Hey, Robbie, you got a sec?
New breed vampire activity is down worldwide. Not to jinx it, but I think we're winning.
Any sign of Dracula or Sin?
None. They're off the board. I think we hit him where it hurts. Without them, the few remaining pockets of vampire activity will die out faster than Chewie devours, well, anything. Anything else on your mind?
Thanks, Carol.
Catch you later.
My childhood was terrible, Hunter. Tell me something good about yours.
Well, I enjoyed exploring the grounds around the Abbey, chasing animals, and getting into sword fights with small trees.
Sometimes I wish I could go back in time. I may have been a sickly child, but life seemed simpler.
I guarantee those memories are better than the actual experience. That is what makes memories worth treasuring.
I suppose you're right. Maybe someday I will look back on this period with longing.
Naturally. This is when you met me.
I don't think even my memories of you can compete with the real thing.
Doctor, do you ever think about having kids yourself?
Intriguing. I don't even know if I'm capable of such a thing anymore. But if I was, I would want to ensure that my spawn were not afflicted with my condition. What about you?
I would love to have kids, and raise them to be strong, capable, and to fight for what is right.
What's stopping you?
The ever-looming threat to our existence.
Ah. Yes, okay. Sounds like an excuse to me. I could not think of a better way to relax. Seems like...
You spoke with Dahlia.
Yes, I wanted to check in on her.
I appreciate you doing that. I spoke with her as well.
Oh? About what?
I offered Dahlia another opportunity to join Xavier's school.
You asked again?
Third time's the charm. She said she'd sleep on her decision, so now we wait.
It is refreshing to find someone who can meet me on an
How did it feel when you fought Dracula?
How do you think? He's still alive.
You were not even the tiniest bit satisfied?
Alright, it was a little satisfying. But ask me again when I kill the guy.
It has been a while since I have seen you here, Sarah.
I guess when you live forever, places of worship take on a different significance. It doesn't seem so important to turn to a high power when you're not faced with the inevitability of death. But now, death, to even us immortals, is becoming an inescapable inevitability. So here I am, asking for guidance. But the Elder Gods are long gone. Only whispers of their power remain. So I've been sitting here quietly, trying to listen to whatever advice they have to offer, if any.
They would want you to have faith that we can get through this.
What, like wait for a miracle? No, Hunter, that will not do. Sometimes I think you rely too much on the powers of light your ancestors gifted you. But what we need right now is swift action. Perhaps I should be asking Agatha. She would know better than I on what to do. Her spirit has only made herself known for one night, and she's already done more to heal the wounds of this team than I have in 6 months.
I think asking Agatha for guidance is a wonderful idea.
It's good to have her back, if only in spirit. It almost feels like we're a family again. If we survive, I hope to learn more soft skills from her. She was always the more maternal one out of the two of us.
I will not argue with you there. Well, I should leave you to your prayers.
Let's hope someone answers them. Thank you, Hunter, but I'd like to be left alone to my thoughts now.
Anything else on your mind?
Thanks, Carol.
Catch you later.
Care for a drink, Hunter?
I thought you only drank blood.
Oh, there is a time and place for everything. I need blood to survive, but every now and then I like to experiment with something new.
What is on today's menu?
I'm not sure. It came out of one of Dr. Strange's bottles. All I know is it's blue and it tastes like moonlight. And lemons.
Are you in the habit of sipping mysterious cocktails?
Well, you could say that. An untested cocktail of my own design once gave me fantastic powers. And what is life worth if you cannot risk it?
One might argue that life is worth so much it should not be risked.
You do not know the life I've lived. I was disfigured and sickly at birth. I would have risked everything for a cure. And I did. I would never have won a Nobel Prize if I hadn't taken a few chances.
They award Nobel Prizes for chance-taking?
Yes. Well, no. Well, sort of. Who could say the story of human progress is built on the backs of those who dared to venture into the unknown?
Civilization is built by those who were strong enough to survive.
Maybe we are saying the same thing. Those who lead must be strong of body and of mind.
Can I ask you a personal question, Doctor? Do you ever regret the risks you took to experiment on yourself?
A risk is not a risk if it does not hold the potential for regret.
It sounds like you have lived a hard life, but all of your choices led you here. And for that, I am grateful.
I'll toast to that.
Then pour me a glass of blue moonlight.
You know, now that I've had more time with it, this might just be a spoiled smoothie.
Hunter, a word.
Olivia, now, clear your mind and just breathe.
This could be fun. No pain, no gain.
This'll make a difference.
Do your thing.
Dahlia left this morning for Xavier's school.
You do not sound surprised.
She's got the safety of her Morlocks to consider. With so many X-Men out for the Shi'ar Brood War, there's space.
The Morlocks were invited as well?
Yes. Magic ferried everyone to the school. They'll be secure until the vampire threat is eradicated.
I'm sure Dahlia is happy they were able to join her.
It was her idea. She proposed the X-Men and the Morlocks share space at Xavier's school to better understand one another.
What a great idea.
She wants to end the confusion and stigma each group has toward the other. It is a noble pursuit, and I am so proud of her.
So, what are your plans, now that she is safe?
You went out of your way to help me. It is only right that I return the favor. I will remain at the Abbey until your fight with Lilith is over.
I admire your leadership capabilities.
What brought... Looks like nobody likes feeling the burn.
Coil. Let's get to work. Sometimes, I even impress myself. Big Tony's Forge of Mystery. We never close. Don't forget to write.
Time's wasting, Hunter. We need any advance. Later.
Shh. Tony is working. Later.
Don't tell me. Red Skull's plans for Wundagore monorail.
Close. Red Skull dug them back in World War II, but where they go, well, we're not sure. Yet.
There are some hints in Crossbone's data that a few of the tunnels might even be older.
How much do we trust Crossbone's data?
I trust it enough to investigate and launch reconnaissance. Up for a little smash and grab, Logan?
Ah, I see where this is going. It's a cannonball special. Except that you're throwing me at a whole mountain.
We know you're strong enough to take it.
Want in on the action, Steve?
Negative. I need to poke around Crossbone's hard drive. There's still encryption I can't crack.
Maybe it's spicy love letters from Crossbones to Sin? She's Red Skull's daughter or granddaughter or something. Anyone sharing a family tree with Red Skull is bad news. Dating Crossbones is proof of that pudding.
That's right. I wonder what kind of murder sonnets those two deranged lovebirds wrote to each other. But while it would make some titillating nightmare fuel, we have bigger fish to fry.
And it's a big old doozy of a fish. Something called Project Gottmorder.
Based on my limited German, that sounds promising.
Agreed. Only it could be nothing. Red Skull doled out fancy names left and right. I think the answer's here, in Crossbone's data.
What we do know is that these tunnels go somewhere. And Hydra's hiding something. Something potentially big.
Well, that's more context than I normally get for potential suicide missions. Into the Hydra nest we go. Hope you're not afraid to get dirty, Hunter.
Awesome. If I were a Hydra mastermind, I'd keep secret labs stocked with even more secret research.
Hunter, got any concerns?
If I had time, I'd take care of these myself, but I have been accused of hogging the ball before.
Do as you wish.
Stay out of trouble.
You're headed into unsecured tunnels beneath Mount Wundagore with Wolverine as your guide. I'd understand if you've got some worries.
I have full faith in Wolverine, and I can handle myself. We will be fine, no matter what we find in those tunnels.
That is some A-plus courage you're displaying, Hunter. You and Logan will make us all proud.
What was Logan saying about someone named Sin?
Ah, yes. She's a member of Red Skull's family. I've tangled with her a few times. She's a chip off the old block. Minus the giant Red Skull, of course.
Do you think she knows about this Project Gottmorder?
I have no doubts. I caught her trying to raid a museum for some of Red Skull's artifacts. If Crossbones was going to give his intel to anyone besides Lilith, it would have been her.
But he did not. He gave it to you.
Right. And that leaves us little choice. If we don't find this Project Gottmorder, it's only a matter of time before Sin does. Good luck out there.
If we're really going into those tunnels underneath Mount Wundagore, get ready for some good old-fashioned grime and slime.
Are you saying the Red Skull did not value comfort?
The guy was a Nazi whose head was the color of an inflamed big toe. I doubt he was trucking in lacy throw pillows down there.
I will adjust my expectations.
The map we have is pretty loose, but luckily, you're gonna have me leading the way. So don't worry about getting stuck or lost.
If you are confident you know where to go, then I will be right there beside you.
Smart, Hunter. Real smart. Trust me and we'll get in and out of there before Hydra knows what's up.
With any luck, we will learn the Skull's secrets quickly.
Yeah, it'll be good to see what the old bonehead was up to.
You talk as though you knew him.
It's not like we traded punches or anything, but I was in Canadian intelligence during the war. The Skull was definitely on our radar. As nasty as you'd expect. Obsessed with the occult.
And this Project Gottmorder?
That's new to me. Hopefully it lives up to its name. I'd hate to go all the way down there and find out it's just a regular old mortar.
Your jokes are mordering me, Logan.
Whoa, nice German humor, Hunter. If I had a hat on, I'd tip it to you right now.
Danke.
Whatever it is, I hope we can get it out of there. I don't want to spend more time in those tunnels than I have to.
On that, we can agree.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. I tell you, there's nothing better than a bunch of spooky tunnels.
Hydra operatives in this area has been transmitting unusual signals back to their base of operations.
Their intent is clear.
If we can capture that agent, we might gain some insight into Hydra's plans.
We don't like running errands. We pick you.
Interesting tactic.
Much appreciated.
I hope this is one of the stronger arms. We did come all the way here for a fight.
You're as good as they say.
Now's your chance. Take them into custody before they can regain their bearings.
Even the Mother of Demons is forced to rely upon hired hands occasionally. Just wait until it's my turn. It appears they've bolstered their forces.
Interest.
Excellent work. But I doubt Hydra will let you walk off with their agents so easily. Stay alert.
We'll have to deal with a few more, I'm afraid.
We need
to take care of the rest of these thugs. Don't hold back.
It's remarkable how well Hydra manages to attract new recruits despite decades of ineptitude. I fully intend to make this as miserable as possible for you, fair? Maybe a search for wealth and power with just a tinge of fascism. Even a mother of resplendent effort.
Walk in the light.
Done me a great favor.
Such a pathetic leader.
I am impressed.
all is well for the moment. Let me show you. A gift of ancient traditions.
Too weak for this fight. What are you waiting for?
Let's give it a go. The light shines on the most dutiful.
They cannot possibly match your strength.
Looks like you've got the agent in custody. Better clear out before Hydra sends a search party.
Heading to book club. Are you?
Meet you there.
Let's get moving.
My plan backfired. Thought choosing a weird book would drive people away.
Why would you do that?
More punch for the rest of us.
Why have I not heard of Crash Morgan? I know it's an older book, but this is exactly the kind of story I like.
Hunter, I thought Logan might bail. But I told him we bring more snacks this time. I have him figured out. I'm good if you are.
I am ready.
All right, Logan, I need to know. Why did you choose this book?
I'll tell you, just not yet. I want to hear what you thought of this book.
It was written in the 1940s, so I expected some repugnant attitudes and phrases. But it surprised me. The writing was simple, yet the story was deeper than it had any right to be.
What was your favorite part?
It's in the chapter where Crash and the princess escaped the Zorgots. The next morning, they see the sunrise and Mars rising beside it. When the princess asks what the future holds and Crash just stares at Mars as it eclipses the sun, it gave me chills.
Is it just me, or do the stellar bodies represent their time together?
Absolutely. The time they have together is fleeting. I think this is where Crash first realizes there's no future for the two of them. Anyway, I think the moment gets lost when the Zorgots deploy their Null Stalkers.
I don't get why the robot dog didn't warn them. I thought it could talk.
Not until number 19, the minefields of the reticulates. It's a whole thing.
Got it. So, what's the idea with Crash's promise?
What about it?
When Crash apprehends Glaxogorp, they have a tense conversation in the back of the flypod. Crash says there's a way the Zorgots can leave the moon with everything they want, but the princess must take the throne. Then Crash vows that no queen of royal blood shall ever rule Deimos. Glaxogorp agrees, but why? Crash breaks the vow in the next chapter.
That makes no sense. Why say Queen of Royal Blood?
You're right. I can't believe I missed that. And how does that tie into the Hydro gunfight at the top of the space scraper?
Really? You don't see it?
I do.
They're shapeshifters.
Who?
Crash and Glaxogorp.
No.
Yep.
But then, when do they...
The Hydro gunfight. Crash gets hit in the helmet and goes down. And what happens whenever Crash is unconscious?
The helmet changes color. Turns bronze like the suit.
Right. Then Glaxogorp pulls up on the rocket sled and takes Crash and the princess into custody. That's when they make the switch. Crash and Glaxogorp change form. But where do they stash the princess?
It is obvious. They put her in Crash's suit.
Exactly. Crash won't need it to survive because they're within the bubble city. So we get to the Deimos Council meeting. The princess refuses the throne and declares her love for Crash, who is the princess in Crash's suit. When they embrace, the false princess deactivates the Magna Manacles binding Crash. But Crash nabs the Star Scepter from the fake princess, activates the suit's Zoom vest, and smashes through the Monoculus.
So, if that's the actual princess, she escapes. But who is the false princess?
That's a shapeshifted Glaxogorp. Without the Star Scepter, Deimos can't crown their queen.
Right. She never wanted it, and the Zorgots definitely don't want it. Glaxogorp, posing as the princess, can steer Deimos away from war.
And when the fake Glaxogorp vows the Star Scepter shall be restored to the princess, that's actually Crash.
So Crash made two vows and broke neither of them. The cliffhanger with Glaxogorp chasing Crash's ship is actually Crash returning to the princess so they can escape Deimos.
You got it. They reveal the switcheroo at the beginning of number 6, Attack of the Intergalactic Space Weasels.
Clever. I like it more now. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
I almost wish this book was a comic instead. I would have liked to see the Monoculus.
My book was the best of them.
You have only been to 2 meetings.
Yeah, but you know I'm right.
You did not mention a book for next time.
Yeah, with everything going on, I'm gonna put book club on hiatus. Until things are less apocalyptic.
I hope we come back to this in the future.
Same here. Books are a gourmet meal for thought. Not to call anyone out, but you just can't feed your mind gristle.
It would be a shame if Nico heard you say that.
Nice try. She knows what I think of her taste in movies. Besides, I said it to her face last week.
What did she say?
Don't make me magic all your books into screenplays, unpublished screenplays. In the face of a threat like that, I'm not too proud to admit I backed down. Actually, I need to thank you for sticking around since the beginning, for all your help with Carol.
Of course.
I don't get close to many people. I never get into relationships. That's not a rule I ever break. But I did with Carol. Beyond all the reasons, I find her amazing. Do you know why?
You are into her because she can kick your ass.
That's exactly it.
Really? I was joking.
I'm not. Vampires bite dirty. They'll kill whoever you love just because they can. If they really want you to suffer, they'll turn your true love into one of them. That's why dating me is a death sentence, and I refuse to put that weight on anyone. But can you imagine some pissant vampire trying to chow down on Captain Marvel? First his fangs would snap off on contact with her skin, then she'd just chuck it into space. No hiding from the sun out there. There's no way they could ever touch her. But it's not just that.
It is you. She is safe from you.
Yeah. I never break my rule because I know deep down there's a chance I could lose control. But with Carol, hell, she could hold me over her head till I was myself again. Wouldn't even break a sweat.
Well, completely unrelated, I want to watch Captain Marvel bench press Blade.
I would not.
You were no fun.
And you already knew that. Well, I'm glad you joined me for all of this. Maybe next time the world is ending, I'll start a sparring club.
A sparring club? Is that just training with a fancy name?
You saw right through me. You calling it?
Yeah, I am done.
Peace.
Hunter, hello.
Well met.
You and I are pretty similar.
Correct. We are both humans with extraordinary abilities.
I meant outside of our status as heroes. You and I are both leaders.
I do not consider myself a leader.
No need for modesty. You do a lot for the Midnight Suns. I don't need to tell you that being the head of a team means a lot of responsibility. Do you ever feel pressure to act or lead in a certain way?
I try to lead with my heart and do what is best for the Midnight Suns. I take their needs into consideration.
Spoken like a true leader.
I get the sense that you relate.
Maybe. Despite what anyone says, I believe we're all just winging it and playing it off as confidence because we have to.
It sounds like you were speaking from experience just now.
I forget how perceptive you are. I've had to keep my emotions in check for a long time, even before joining the X-Men. It's been hard to unlearn.
When you say you need to keep them in check, what does that mean?
I need to make sure I'm aware of how I feel 100% of the time. I have tools to keep me grounded, just in case. Do you have anything like that?
Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I like to meditate and center myself. I come out with a clearer head.
Yes, that's a great coping mechanism. I indulge as well. Sometimes it's hard finding a peaceful and quiet place to do so.
Especially around the Abbey.
You need to invest in a pair of noise-canceling headphones, Hunter. They're a real game changer. Staying in control is crucial for me. If I ever seem guarded around you, don't take it to heart.
When you lose control, that affects your powers?
Something like that. Let's just say that when I'm stable, so is the weather and everything around me. I'll save the details for later.
I am looking forward to it.
Hey!
Finally, some action! I thought my dry spell was never gonna end.
Hi.
Let's do this.
No, you shouldn't have.
Not everyone wants my advice, but they're gonna get it either way.
New and improved.
Evil doesn't take time. Neither should we.
Do your thing.
Hey, can I ask a favor? Thanks, Hunter.
It's not much, but I have managed to locate a few details. Oh, and I was just about to binge watch my stories. It's an excellent find.
How's it going, boss? Let me do my... Sometimes, I even impress myself.
Farewell.